Alrighty guys, we're back for some Fetch Quest combo, and this is a Wilds of Eldraine Standard brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do got that Discord link as well as that relatively new Patreon link down in the description if you're interested in joining either of those up. Okay, what do we got packed into the build here? You guys might have seen this combo floating around Standard by now. It's a combo between Invasion of Alara and the Fetch Quest side of Bramble Familiar. So what is Fetch Quest? Well, it's a 7-mana adventure sorcery. Mill 7 cards, then put a creature, enchantment, or land card from among the milled cards onto the battlefield. Cool, so what does Invasion of Alara have to do with this? Well, this is a 5-mana battle siege, rocking all 5 mana colors up there. Has 7 defense counters. When Invasion of Alara enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile 2 non-land cards with mana value 4 or less. You may cast one of those 2 cards without paying its mana cost, put one of them into your hand, then put the other cards exiled this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. So if you only have 1 or 2 cards in your entire build that has mana value 4 or less, you're guaranteed to hit it off of the Invasion of Alara. And then since you get to cast it for free or without paying its mana cost, you can choose the adventure side of the Bramble Familiar, which is just a 2-mana 2/2 a raccoon, not doing much else in the build. I guess it could help us ramp though, right? Anyways, you could choose the Fetch Quest side, cast it for free, mill those 7 cards, and just slam something huge onto the board, which sounds pretty cool, huh? Which reminds me, guys, this was actually a suggestion over in the Discord to give this combo a shot, and of course, I had to put a little bit of a Red Cat twist. And that twist probably took this beautiful combo and made it janky, but still, Capricious Hellraiser was my twist card. This is a 6-mana 4/4 for Phyrexian Dragon. And it costs 3 less to cast if you have 9 or more cards in your graveyard, which honestly wouldn't be unheard of in this build, I would say, especially if you're already milling off of the Fetch Quest too, right? Now it has flying, and when it ETBs, you exile 3 cards at random from your graveyard, choose a non-creature, non-land card from among them, and copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Okay, so there's a lot of really cool cards to hit with Hellraiser in here. First of all, we gotta do some rearranging, bro. I know, like, this mana curve looks ridiculous, but what is this? Drafts have been taken offline. Well, thank you, system. Thank you for letting me know. I won't do any drafts right now. Anyways, yeah, the the mana curve looks a little bit ridiculous, but we have to do some rearranging here because we have a whole bunch of stuff that can just do things at a lower cost, right? So we have all 4 herd migrations here, helping us find some basic lands, and slapping them onto the board is going to be important. We're going to be activating this at 2 mana, way more than we activate it at 7 mana, especially when you activate it at 2, it discards, gains you some life, helps you mana fix. Now it's chilling in the grave, so whenever it comes time to cast out that Hellraiser, for example, you might hit that herd migration and be able to cast that 7-mana side for free, which is really cool, huh? Leyline Binding is easily going to be 2 mana in this deck, but hopefully it'll be 1 mana most of the time, so let's just slap it in the 1 mana spot. Why not, right? Also rocking a couple Greater Tanukis in here, more mana fixing. Now we only have 5 basic lands, and it's 1 of each, so we got a Plains, Island, Swamp, Mountain, Forest. So hopefully we don't run through all the herd migration and Greater Tanuki abilities, but yeah, another channel ability here, not too bad. Also, slamming creatures in the grave isn't terrible too, because we have Virtue of Persistence here, 7-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Since it's an enchantment, it's going to be a great one to hit with that Bramble Familiar ability as well. It's non-creature, so we could always pick it up with that Hellraiser too if it goes into the grave by other means as well. So now it has that adventure side though. For just 2 mana, it is sorcery speed. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. You gain 2 life. Solid piece of removal, dude. We're probably going to be seeing this one often in a bunch of different builds, huh? Okay, we still have more packed in. Some more top end here. Etali is going to be a terrific card to hit off of the Fetch Quest, and just like a terrific card in general, right? And I'm opting for the Kami War. This is a 6 mana. Also rocking all 5 mana colors up there. It's an enchantment saga. For the first chapter, you exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls. second chapter, return up to one other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So you could totally return one of your own cards too. Then each opponent discards a card. Nice. And then on chapter 3, you exile it and then return it transformed as the Okagachi Made Manifest. I might have pronounced that properly. It's a 6/6 Dragon Spirit, and it's all colors. It has Flying Trample. It has this cool ability too. Whenever it attacks, defending player chooses a non-land card in your graveyard and returns that card to your hand. And then the Okagachi gets +X +0 until end of turn, where X is the mana value of that card. So since we have so many high mana value cards in here too, like that bottom ability, man, I don't know, dude. Like there's so many ways to actually close up a game in the air with some of these sick dragons, huh? Oh, we also have Lukka, Bound to Ruin, the 5-mana legendary planeswalker with 5 loyalty counters, but you could totally cast this out for 4 mana and use the Phyrexian completed mana there. And whenever the planeswalker is completed, it enters with 2 fewer loyalty counters, which isn't too bad. What's really nice about the Lukka too is that +1 can help you ramp into some of your creatures like Etali or Capricious Hellraiser for that matter, right? But yeah, it's noteworthy that it only helps you ramp into creatures or activate abilities of creatures as well. So we do have a -1 here, creating a 3/3 toxic 1, just chump blocker probably at that point in the game, right? But still, that has got a -4 that can help us clean up some boards as well. Deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control as you activate this ability. So yeah, if you have like an Etali or something, that's not that bad of a -4, huh? Is that everything already? No, the one of card that I chose that's less than 4 outside of the Bramble Familiar is Bitter Reunion. So this is a 2-mana enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you can discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards, and then you can pay 1, sack it. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. I'll tell you what, dude, that bottom ability just giving everything haste has come in handy in so many of my mid-range builds. It's not even funny, dude. So I really think Bitter Reunion is going to be a really solid one to also potentially hit off of the invasion. I mean, we're probably always going to want to hit the fetch quest, but still, if you hit the Bitter Reunion and the Bramble Familiar, at least you can activate fetch quest, and then the Bitter Reunion goes into your hand. So yeah, pretty cool. Also, yeah, Bitter Reunion's bottom ability pairs beautifully with like Herd Migration too. If you do end up getting this down, getting a bunch of beasts, like all 5 of them, for example, given all those haste could help you wrap up a game a turn early potentially, right? So something really important to note for this build, guys. First of all, I didn't even go over the other half of the Invasion of Alara. Oh my goodness, dude. We'll go over the Awaken the Maelstrom in a second. This is an important thing to note. Since you are copying the card with Hellraiser, so you're exiling the 3 cards, then you choose a non-creature, non-land card from among them and copy it, right? Then you can play the copy without paying its mana cost. If you do hit like the Kami War or the Invasion of Alara, then they are not going to ever flip, right? So on the 3rd chapter of the Kami War, when it exiles itself, you're exiling the copy, so it's actually just never going to return as the made manifest, right? And then it's the same concept for the Invasion of Alara. If you ever take all the defense counters off of the copied invasion, then it's never going to actually flip into the Awaken the Maelstrom, because Battle Sieges specifically say, when the last counter is removed, exile it, right? So anyways, Awaken the Maelstrom. If we do end up taking off the defense counters on a non-copy version of this, then it will flip into the sorcery side of this. So Awaken the Maelstrom is all colors. Target player draws 2 cards. You target yourself, obviously. You may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. No artifacts in here, that's fine. Create a token that's a copy of a permanent you control. Distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 creatures you control, and then destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Oh my goodness, dude. So that's a lot. I'm not realistically in this particular version of the combo deck. We're not really looking to flip the Awaken the Maelstrom, but you never know if that's going to come in handy, especially if you want to copy like a Capricious Hellraiser. Just, you know, continue your combos. Oh man, yeah. How many combos did we want in the deck? Yes, was the answer. Some honorable mentions over here, guys. Just basic cards that we have been seeing in this combo deck that seem relatively important for the combo. And like I said, we're probably making it a little janky by diving into a red version of this with the Hellraiser. But yeah, Cemetery Desecrator pairs really well with like the Battle Siege side of this, and being able to just take off those counters sounds really good. It's just a relatively solid creature to hit off of Fetch Quest too. So yeah, very cool. Phyrexian Fleshgorger seems to be making an appearance in this list. I don't know if it's like a 2 to 4 of. I realistically, I don't know, but it seems to, like, because you can play it out as the prototype for 3, it's like the main blocker of the build, and then of course the lifelink comes in handy often too, so. And then Atraxa. It seems a little silly not to have Atraxa in here, but it also seems like it's a little bit of overkill too. I don't know, man. I don't know. These are all in the honorable mentions for a very good reason, dude. So the mana base I thought about for a little while, guys, we're trying to lean towards the red side of things. That way we don't ever get held up on the triple red and Capricious Hellraiser, which honestly we probably shouldn't, especially when we can always grab that extra mountain with the Greater Tanuki or the Herd Migration, and all the other dual lands are pretty leaning towards red too, and we have some early lands with the black and the green, so that way we can successfully have our removal off of the Virtue of Persistence Adventure, and then also making sure we have the green source for like an early Herd Migration, or even on that note, right, Bramble Familiar coming down early and helping us ramp could be really good as well. So okay, guys, is that everything? Oh my goodness, so much packed into the build. Let's go ahead and take it into some ranked and see how we do. All right, guys, the servers seem to be a little bit slow today, but hey, right into that first game, that's good news. What am I expecting from the build? Jank, bro. Jank. I am expecting some serious jank. We go first. All right, sweet. Yeah, this is one of those, like, do not craft lists, right? But hey, you never know. Maybe we'll be able to pull something really cool off today. Okay, we'll get the waste down, and we'll just keep the Herd Migration open for their turn, because the discard ability is instant speed, or it can be activated at instant speed. Alright, we'll see if they keep this Skrelv open for protection, which they probably do. Yes, they do. Okay. Let's see, we need a blue source on this board, right? So let's grab that blue source. Alright, and that's all we need. Okay. Pretty slow start here, but we can always play Lukka next turn, which is not that bad. We'd be taking a good chunk of damage, though, because of our Pain Land and having to pay 2 for the completed ability as well. Keeping Skrelv open for protection, okay. And we have all the mana we need to get this Invasion of Alara down when it comes time, so that'll be good. Oh, good, a normal forest, so we only have to pay the 2 for the completed. That's not too bad. Get a chump blocker down and maybe take some pressure off of our face too. And then if we see another red source, we can always use that Lukka's +1 if they don't target the Lukka to get the Capricious Hellraiser down and cast that Herd Migration right away, right? So that's kind of insane, dude. Oh yeah, they're definitely taking out the Lukka though. Oh, yep, okay. Down to 17, opponents up to 21. Hey, there's the other red source too. Wow, if that Lukka was on this board state, dude, I'll tell you what, that early Herd Migration would have been pretty insane, huh? Off of the Hellraiser? Yeah, dude, wow. I'm surprised we had that option right away, but either way, we already have the Invasion of Alara, so fetch quest time, guys. Let's see what we see, dude. This is gonna be awesome. Oh wow, that was very far down. Okay, select a card, cast one of those cards. I mean, I guess we choose the one that we're casting first, and then the other one goes to our hand, right? Yes, okay. Just double checking there. See what we hit. Leyline Binding, Bramble. Oh, Virtue of Persistence. Is it Virtue? Binding could help us slow down a little bit. Greater... No, it's Virtue. It's Virtue. Oh no, opponent. I'm sorry. I took an extra second to think about it, man. GG opponent. I feel like that still could have gone either way, right? Even though we pulled off the I mean, that feels like a little cheap calling that like pulling off the combo, right? We played one card, dude. It was Virtue of Persistence because we had Greater Tanuki to pick out of the grave too, when it came time for the Virtue. And then outside of that, we didn't end up having the triple red for that Capricious Hellraiser. So what would we have wanted to do? Next turn, we did have the 6 mana for the Kami War, which could start helping us exile, but we'd have to target the Skrelv first. Yeah, I think that was yeah, that was technically anybody's game, dude. I don't think that was ours yet. Even though, yeah, grabbing stuff from the grave every turn, potentially. It only grabs, like, creatures, right? So, I don't know. Cool. I'm down for the victory, though, dude. I'll take the victory. If we can consistently pull that off on turn 5 every game, then maybe it's not janky. The big thing here then is just testing to see if the Hellraiser can actually do a thing. Okay, so we don't have a white source, so Binding isn't coming down, but Greater Tanuki can help us find that Plains. So yeah, this is keepable. And we go first. Wow. It's very nice. Start with Proving Ground. I guess we could start with either or. I was thinking like we want the black and the green down though, depending on what we draw, but I can't think of anything that we could see that we would actually want that open green for right away too, so. Okay, Xander's Lounge is fine. Jetmir's Garden. Mirror match? Maybe. Okay. Found our third, so we're gonna go for... Hopefully that's not a counter spell. Well, channel abilities are really hard to counter. And it's also instant speed, right? So we can totally do that on their turn. Gonna go for the herd migration. You know what? While they're tapped out, I'm just gonna do my channel too, just in case. You never know when there's gonna be like some kind of surprise, man. So a little bit of ramp. Beautiful. We have white, blue, green, and black. So yeah, we're ready to go, dude. Leyline Binding chilling at 1. At this point, now we just got to see the Invasion of Alara in the next couple turns, because Proving Ground's going to come down tapped, so. There's their third. Oh, Sundown Pass, okay. Okay. Maybe we actually want to keep this for cycling. Just play the pass. We have 5 mana, cycle this out. Really, I don't mind that, right? Yeah. That's totally fine. We'll still have Leyline Binding open for their turn, too. Yeah, dude, with simple mana fixing like Greater Tanuki and stuff, you'd be surprised how easy it is just to get all 5 colors on the board. Nothing from the opponent there. Okay, Jetmir's Garden. Okay, come on, Invasion of Alara off the top. No, Sundown Pass. Okay. We have a lot of removal. Like this amount of removal would have been great against an aggro deck, but up against potentially a mirror match, which it probably is based on the herd migration, then all this removal is not terrific, dude. They could easily have the invasion next turn. We go Garden on our turn. We have 3 open. Anything we want to do? No. No, I don't believe so. Also, this game, we have all the red sources we need on the board to cast out Capricious Hellraiser, which could be really good. It doesn't hit anything in the grave right now. That would have been much better to just have all 3 red sources in the last game, right? When we actually had the herd migration in the grave. Okay. Flesh Gorger. Yep, it's the combo build, guys. It has to be. Gotta go for that cycling, see what we see. Land! Oh no. We have double black here, so we will be able to play out the Virtue of Persistence. Flesh Gorger's bad, but it's not that bad. I don't think it's Leyline Binding level yet, so how do we feel about that? Yeah, I don't think it's Leyline Binding level. When they have, probably Atraxa and Etali and all those other goodies, so... Still got 2 mana here. Does this combo build run counter spells? I don't believe so, because that would be picked up by the invasion as well, so... Yeah, we're just gonna casually play a Virtue of Persistence and start grabbing big stuff out of the grave. We have our Greater Tanuki, so... Oh my goodness, it's Make Disappear. Oh crap. Oh crap. Maybe it's not an Invasion of Alara. Wait, Invasion of Alara does pick up counter spells, right? Maybe that's the only one. Oh! Exile 2 non-land cards with mana value 4 or less. So yeah, maybe it's like 1 Make Disappear 4 Brambles. Or maybe it's not Invasion of Alara and it's just 5 color good stuff. Or not good stuff, but you know what I mean. Yeah, dude, we go for this. At least we're playing around a Make Disappear this time. Unless they want to sacrifice their Flesh Gorger to it. Okay, it lands. Okay. Okay. Here we go, guys. Let's see what we see, huh? Oh, Leyline Binding. Okie dokies. Well, we can always Leyline Binding their Leyline Binding, so that'll be good when it comes time, right? I don't know if we want to do that this turn necessarily, but... Okay, Bramble, Fetch Quest. And I really want to see that Hellraiser do a thing. Bitter Reunion's pretty good too, though. Leyline Binding. Yeah, I guess we just take one of those. Target their binding and then do that again, right? That's better than playing the one from our hand, I would say. Bramble, Fetch Quest. Dude, this is nasty, man. I really want to see Hellraiser do a thing, though. Come on. Maybe we can mill a Hellraiser here and grab it. Just like Leyline Binding our Leyline Binding, and then they can Leyline Binding the invasion. The Battle of the Bindings. No Make Disappear with the sacrifice, dude. Oh my goodness. Well, that gets around it, doesn't it? All we got from the combo was a Leyline Binding then. Okay, well, probably, so we decline, first of all. What we end up doing, probably just like play this Bramble Familiar over the Bitter Reunion. Just get this onto the board. I guess that's fine. Down to 16. Opponent has 2 cards. We have Leyline Binding open. I think that's better than the Bitter Reunion for the turn. We're just going to play this out the Fetch Quest side next turn. The Beanstalk, huh? Okay. So they get to draw right away. And then anytime they play something with mana value 5 or greater. Bramble coming down, okay. They have to tap it to activate that ability. Okay, we still hold the binding, right? For something a little bit more threatening, I would say. They still have 2 mana open. At this point, it could easily be another... another Make Disappear, dude. So... maybe we slow down for the turn. Go Virtue of Persistence instead. See, they have the mana open. Oh, that didn't stick at all, did it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Okay. I'll go Bitter Reunion. I don't think we need this other Virtue of Persistence. Discard a card, draw 2. We still have 4 mana. Proving Ground, another Virtue of Persistence, because why not at this point, huh? Okay. We have the Proving Ground cycling, or we could just play it. I'm going to try to flip that invasion. How do we feel about that? It's going to take a couple turns, but like, I don't know. That could be cool. I am actually just going to play this out as land, since it looks like we might have to play around a couple more Make Disappears potentially. So more mana on the board is always good. Atraxa. Yep, that's the card to hit with the binding. Unfortunately, they get to completely restock their hand here, so we are in trouble, dude. We might as well do this now. They're tapped out. They'll still get that ability, but still. Atraxa's off this board state. Let's see what they find with this. Hopefully not too much. If they get like completely restocked with one of everything, then we're in trouble, dude. And we'll have to go pretty fast. We have enough mana to go Herd Migration, give them all haste, flip the Invasion, draw a couple off of that. Okay, they got 4 cards here, Leyline Binding being one. Oh no. Yeah, removal for the binding is rough business, dude. Okay. We got to do something so significant. Okay. The Kami War is really good. How do I want to do this, dude? How do I want to do this? Leyline Binding, they're going to get the Atraxa ability again next turn, restock their hand. We also have the Bramble Familiar's fetch quest while they're tapped out. But I think it's going to be Herd Migration. How do we feel about that, guys? Give them haste. And we didn't end up actually needing that extra thing that we played last turn. Okay, so really? Oh, that was still anyone's game, right, dude? I'm pretty sure. I'm shocked by that. You Battlefield. So we're going to go Bramble Familiar and a 3, right? And then we still had 4, so we're going to swing 12 to face. Opponent was going to go down to 12. We were going to flip the Awaken the Maelstrom. We would have drawn 2, back up to 5 cards in hand, not bad. We don't have artifacts. We create a token that's a copy of a permanent you control, which I guess would have just been like Leyline Binding, and then take their Up the Beanstalk, maybe, right? Distribute 3 +1/+1 counters. We would have just put those on to 3 different tokens. And destroy target permanent opponent controls. I mean, there was really nothing else to take out there, because I guess we could have copied like just one of our beasts then instead, or the Bramble Familiar. It wouldn't have mattered, instead of copying the Leyline Binding and then just destroyed the Up the Beanstalk. There's so much on this card. I apologize for having to read it again. I read it like 4 times before recording the video too. It's just like there's too much to remember when I haven't played with it before, you know what I mean? Well, hey, so far so good. Come on, Hellraiser, let's do a thing this game. Let's do this, man. Honestly, dude, I don't know. Landing a fetch quest and grabbing a Hellraiser with it seems pretty decent, I would say. Oh my goodness. You know what? We're gonna give it a shot, dude. Having Leyline Binding as early removal, it's gonna be 1 mana in no time, so like, you get the one that has the white mana in it, so it untaps next turn, and then you play the Proving Grounds, and then you're good to go. 1 mana Binding. Dusk Legion Duelist. Yeah, I'd say that's probably worth picking up early on here, right? We'll save the other one for something more important, but we didn't want them to draw too much overall, I would say. Bramble Familiar helps us ramp a little bit, but I think it's just Herd Migration for the turn. And hopefully at that point we've slowed him down pretty good. Ozolith, nice. Okay. Herd Migration, grab a red source. Right, yes, red source. Wait. White source? White source. That way we have the blue on the headquarters. Right? Crap. We have red. Okay. We have blue, white, green, red. Okay, we still need one more anyways, so I guess if we use the wastes, as a black source and then the Bramble as the green, I'm sure Bramble's gonna die. But now if we don't see mana off the top and it survives, then at the very least... Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pick up Brawler number 1 here. We could have taken Ozolith too, but... Oh, we ended up finding the 5th mana anyways. Wow, we actually just have Tommy War for the turn if we want to do that. But I mean, Invasion of Alara is probably a little better. Right? Probably. That's disgusting, dude. That's nasty, man. The way... Really? Opponent! No! Okay, I kind of understand that concede, though. I kind of understand. We slowed them down significantly. But, like, opponent, it wasn't, you know... It's really close to the normal combo builds, but it's not. We got some fun jank packed in, man. Come on, Hellraiser, this game. I believe in us, dude. How far are we in the video? 31 minutes. Okay, come on, guys. Come on, Capricious Hellraiser. I wonder what we were going to exile there. Did it show us? Or I think the concede happened and it didn't end up popping up with any cards. Or I don't even think we got to actually cast the fetch quest, did we? I don't even know right now. Capricious Hellraiser. We go first. That's good. Okay, sure. You know what? We're keeping it. I mean, it might, like, at least we have the mana, first of all. Okay, we'll start with one with the white source in it, just in case we draw a Leyline Binding. Okay. Capricious Hellraiser number 2. I mean, hey, we asked for it, so now we don't have triple red on the board by any means, though, so... Questing Druid. Huh. Interesting. Bitter Reunion's pretty good. Do we just go for... I think we actually play this Bitter Reunion, don't we? I don't mind sending one of the Hellraisers, but I also don't mind sending a Lukka. No. I'm keeping Lukka. That could help us ramp into the Hellraiser. Wow, Invasion of Alara, and we have all this crazy mana on the board already. Urabrask's Forge. We double down on Bramble Familiar. Do you guys suppose one of them survives and we'll be able to cast the Invasion even if we don't see a mana? Oh, well, we got the 5th anyways, so... I guess at that point we go for 4 mana Lukka. Right? What's even happening, dude? I really hope this Capricious Hellraiser does a thing this game. I really, really hope. Okay, so we go -1, get a chump blocker down. And we still don't have triple red for Hellraiser, which is actually a little shocking. I thought it'd be a little bit easier to actually find triple red for this, but... Wow! Brotherhood's End. Yeah, that takes care of the Lukka and the creature. But luckily, we actually just saw... Hey! Another Hellraiser. Sure, man, sure. We're drawing all of them because we can't successfully play them this time. At least we have the Invasion. Hopefully we hit something good off of the fetch quest, right? Oh, I thought we missed for a second the way it exiled everything. Let's see what we see. Etali. Oh, Virtue of Persistence is really good too, but it's probably just Etali, right? Actually, Virtue of Persistence, because they probably don't have enchantment removal, and then we can take the Etali back from the grave with the Virtue. And the Capricious Hellraiser. We have a chance to play it this game, guys. We have to start with Etali, though, because we don't want Hellraiser to accidentally exile it. That's funny, dude. Also, there could just be enchantment removal and our heart would be broken. We're kind of in danger. 5 mana. We're a couple of mana away from dropping just a couple fetch quests here, but... Okay, Etali, do your thing, buddy. What do we see? Oh, Bloodfeather Phoenix from them, and a second Etali. Okay, I guess we cast it, right? We don't want to forget that we can give haste to these. Questing Druid. Okay. That does get around the trample side of things if they want to block one of these. Keeping either one, doesn't matter as long as we get the ability. Invasion of Alara, sure dude, why not, man? Lightning Strike, okay. Okay, we'll take out the Druid so they don't have the blocker. We gotta remember that haste from the Bitter Reunion, man, so we actually don't see anything off the invasion, but we can start flipping these. Yeah, because everything's in our hand, so there's another red source. I thought these red sources were gonna be a lot easier to pull off, so. Okay, so we go you, and you know what? You two. Actually, I changed my mind. They have Brotherhood's End. Actually, we still could have done that, and no, this is totally fine. Flip you, and start swinging face, because we only need to flip one for now. Oh, Capricious Hellraiser is only 3. Awaken, draw 2, destroy a permanent, or Rabrask's Forge. Ooh, Leyline Binding, nice. Choose a permanent you control. This copies it, right? I guess Virtue of Persistence. I don't know, dude. And I'll slam some extra counters like that, I guess. Awaken the Maelstrom does way too much. It's just like there's too many abilities to go through. Yeah, dude, Leyline Binding open in hand now too. Come on, Hellraiser. Opponent, don't concede. Let me play Hellraiser next turn from the grave with my virtues. Oh no, they're gonna concede, aren't they? You know what? I'm not gonna do the binding just so I have a chance to play Hellraiser. Come on. My grave, go faster. Hellraiser. You know what? Etali, why not? And then we could just keep this one. Get the Etali's ability. I wonder what will... Oh my goodness, dude. Kami War. Dude, well, there's only one thing to target. Capricious Hellraiser. What are we gonna hit? Something great. Yes. Oh, Lukka's good too. We'll just go. We'll go Lukka. Let's go, dude. I don't even know where to begin. We can like we can bounce the Hellraiser back to our hand and then they discard. Either way, it's full swing at the opponent's face because we do have exactly lethal damage at 16 damage on the board. Oh my goodness. Get that card draw, sure. Hey, good game, opponent. Thank you so much for sticking it out, letting me pop off. You're a champion, dude. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. See, at some point, like, we know that the combo deck just, like, gets a little bit insane regardless, but then, like, when we actually got to see the Hellraiser, it's just completely ridiculous. It seems so unbelievably unnecessary. Because at that point in the game, dude, like, the only reason you would need to pop off any more than you already are, right? Like, we had so many options in hand, I just decided not to do any of them, and just, like, that way the opponent wasn't just over there suffering through me playing the game. But, yeah, at some point, yeah, the only time you would ever need that excessive amount of everything is when you're up against, like, another mid-range or late-game style build that's also popping off, and you just need to pop off a little bit more. Okay, we go first. Yes? Yes. Oh, absolutely. We grab the white source. Oh, we still are missing blue, but that's okay. And where are all the red sources in the mana base, dude? I promise we have more. We have more red sources, but... Leyline Binding. I am going to play this as a creature. A little bit of ramp, dude. It might really come in handy. Yeah, unfortunately, the Hellraisers have not proven themselves in hand because each one of these games we're just not really seeing the sources that we need to see. We can keep this open. No attacks. This has Death Touch, which is pretty scary. I guess they still didn't want to accept that trade last time. I think we can successfully block the Rot Priest and see what happens. We do have Bramble Familiar's ability if we want to send something to the grave here. Okay. I think we just, like, accept that and go for ramp on the Greater Tanuki, right? I think so. So, oh, I'm sorry, opponent. Over here trying to app things properly. And this would be really cool if it came out untapped, because then we would have had the Leyline Binding, and we actually could have taken the Rock Priest and saved the Bramble, but... Oh, another red source, that's good. And a 6th mana for next turn. Oh, now we don't have a blue source on the board, though, since we saw the Garden. That's okay, though. That's okay. Both the Combi War and the Binding are pretty good against Rock Priest style builds. I should have done this on our turn, guys. They were tapped out, weren't they? Oh, okay, good, it landed. Okay. Because, yeah, protection. Protection spells are a big... Did we really just draw the Invasion of Alara? What on earth is happening, dude? Oh, we don't have the mana for it. Okay. I was like, why are we just, like, seeing things, man? But yeah, no, we don't have a blue source right now, so... Hellraiser hits this board. Well, that's awkward. We don't talk about it, guys. We still needed to play something that turn regardless. Oh, Infectious Bite. Death Touch gets around it. Dude, we're gonna die. We're gonna die, dude. Capricious Hellraiser. Oh my goodness, dude. We realistically were not able to do, like, anything actually good with Hellraiser, I would say. Or anything necessary with Hellraiser. Yeah, Hellraiser's gone. Okay, blue source or removal. Either way, we're at 8 poison, guys. We gotta go now. Okay, cycle this out. And this might have been my fault for grabbing the planes. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Herd migration. We're gonna die next turn, though, aren't we? Oh, no. We got the blue source now. That was a really good draw off of the cycle, but I'm pretty sure they got us. Here it comes. Proliferate anything. What's this? I don't know if I've seen that before. 3 mana, draw 2, you lose 2. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Beautiful. Opponent, GG, dude. When I saw this Invasion of Alara off the top, I thought the game was just giving it to us, man. I thought, like, wow, like, of course we get to see it again. We get to get, like, this insane combo popping off all over again, right? But that was a perfect game of just, like, showcasing the importance of, like, actually seeing an order to your combo deck, right? Herd Migration early on would have made that game very, very different. Then Capricious Hellraiser, after the fact of a Herd Migration, means a 7-mana Herd Migration would have been free, right? So, yeah, just order in the combo, and so potentially should have mulliganed. I don't think that was a mulligan, although, yeah, we obviously didn't have all the mana we needed in hand, and then also grabbing the plains instead of a blue source, we didn't know we were going to see Jetmir's Garden next turn, right? We could have easily grabbed a blue source and then just seen, oh, I mean, I guess any other land. Yeah, no, that's something to think about. It's something to think about based on the triomes that we actually have in here. So, but yeah, there was a potential where we actually didn't see any white sources then if we didn't see the plains, and we needed to have the binding available. So, yeah, hey, good game, opponent. Poor Capricious Hellraiser, man. Let's go ahead, go over the deck here. This is a fun time, dude. Combo decks are always pretty fun, though, huh? Especially when they pop off. Here's the deck list again, guys. Let's go ahead and do that rearranging again. Herd Migration can kind of be considered a 2-drop. Virtue of Persistence, same concept. Greater Tanuki, 3-drop. Lukka can kind of be a 4-drop, which is what we played Lukka on every time, huh? Leyline Binding, you're hopefully doing it for 1 mana. And we got our 6 drops, and then Etali's a 7-drop. Cool. I really enjoyed this, man. Overall, mana was totally fine. That last game was probably, yeah, that was the only game where we kind of struggled getting the mana we needed on the board, right? Having 8 5-color cards in the build is pretty greedy, mixed with the triple red in Capricious Hellraiser. Of course, we're trying to hit that Hellraiser off of the fetch quest, as well as being able to play it out relatively successfully with just having enough red sources here. We have the Mountain, the Sundown Pass. We have the Xander's Lounge, Proving Ground, and Jetmir's Garden. Those are the red sources in the mana base. That's a pretty good amount that by the time you have 6 mana, I would say at least a couple of them have a red source in it. If not, it should realistically, maybe you should have about half your mana having a red source in it. Maybe that would just be a little lucky though too. Either way, if you have about 2 red sources by the time you get to 6 mana, eventually 7 or 8 mana in, you're going to have the 3 red hopefully on the board, right? And at that point too, maybe you grabbed a mountain off the Greater Tanuki or the Herd Migration. So the mana fixing for the triple red in the Hellraiser should kind of be fine, but it's like I was saying in all those games, dude, it's so unnecessary. Like, you know, the main reason of trying this out was just to put that red cat twist on the deck, and I liked it, but this is probably a lot more janky than just going the route of Flesh Gorger and everything, right? And speaking of that route, and like the Atraxa that we had in the honorable mentions too, but speaking of that route, you know, maybe it's a little slower too because it's not Rockin' Bitter Reunion, but we could totally go the Flesh Gorger route and still have the Bitter Reunion be our other card that gets hit off the invasion instead of the Bramble Familiar with the fetch quest, right? So definitely something to consider if you're thinking about this combo deck is the Bitter Reunion. I think like the one we played against was rocking those Make Disappears and the Beanstalk, right? But all those got hit or could have gotten hit by the Invasion of Alara, which means you're not guaranteed seeing that fetch quest. And I gotta read this like 7 times over, dude. So exile cards from the top of your library until you exile 2 non-land cards from it with mana value 4 or less. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have just picked up their counter spells too. So it was a risk. So I actually don't even know if it was a mirror match or not that game. But yeah, I think some of the other cards that I see in the combo builds outside of the Bitter Reunion, or I don't see Bitter Reunion, the cards that I do see in the Invasion of Alara decks outside of the fetch quest is what I meant to say, is I saw some people running removal, which is totally fine. Removal is important. And then, yeah, I saw the Up the Beanstalk as well as like a one of. So I like the Bitter Reunion. Definitely something to consider. That haste can go a really long way. And closing up a game a turn earlier than it would have could be huge against other mid-range builds, dude. A turn before they pop off, or a turn before they start like wiping the board, or a farewell, right? That would devastate this deck. Okay, yeah. The Hellraiser's probably janky, but you know what, dude? More testing required, huh? Now, of course, put this on the do not craft list, like I said at the beginning of the video, or at least I hope I said it. I know I was thinking it at the very least, but we have all Leyline Bindings, which is rare. Herd Migration is rare. The Virtue of Persistence is mythic. Bramble Familiar is rare, dude. Lukka's mythic, of course. We got the 4 Invasions, which is rare. Oh my goodness, Etali's rare. Akami War is mythic. Capricious Hellraiser is mythic. This might be like literally the most expensive deck I've put together on the channel, guys. This like, yeah, do not craft, but hey, if you got the cards, give it a shot, dude. And maybe like one of the cards you don't have is maybe all 4 of the Capricious Hellraisers, right? Maybe you only got 1 or 2 of these. That would be like drop those, go up the Flesh Gorgers. And the Kami War worked out nicely, and we obviously opted for more enchantments so that way we could hit more out of the grave with the Hellraiser too, which, yeah, since we didn't get to see Hellraiser too much, we didn't get to see that come into play either. So this might be one of those cards that you don't have all 4 of either. And again, those Flesh Gorgers or the Atraxas or anything else I put in the honorable mentions, totally fine, dude. Oh, buddy, what a fun time this was, huh? Thank you again for the suggestion in the Discord. I'm glad we were able to check out this combo and kind of sort of do it our own way, right? Like a lot of the cards are the same, but you know. All right, guys. Hey, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions for real. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.